I always believed love was built on trust, on growing together, not keeping score. But that illusion shattered the night my fiancée, Claire, sat me down for what she called a practical conversation. We were 3 months away from our wedding, still caught up in the thrill of cake tastings and venue tours. Then, out of nowhere, she brought up asset division. She said it so casually, almost like she'd rehearsed it. I just think it's smart to have a plan. She said, in case things don't work out. At first, I laughed, assuming she was joking. But her face didn't change, steady, calm, deliberate, as if she practiced every word in front of a mirror. Then she began listing things: my condo, my savings, the stocks I'd been investing in since my 20s. She wanted to know how we protect them, how ownership would work after marriage. My mind went numb. We hadn't even said our vows yet, and she was already drawing boundaries between mine and hers. A coldness spread through me, like someone had opened a window in the dead of winter. I didn't argue. I just sat there and listened. Every word landed like a pinprick, bursting another bubble of trust one thought we shared. When she finally said, "It's just practical, not personal," something inside me cracked. That night, long after she left, I sat at my desk, staring at our wedding invitation proofs. For the first time, I didn't see a celebration of love. I saw a contract. The next morning, I couldn't shake her words. They echoed in my head like a bad song on repeat. It's just practical, not personal. Maybe to her it wasn't, but to me, it was the most personal thing she could have said. For days, I replayed every moment of our relationship. Every I love you, every promise, every plan. They all felt hollow now. I tried to tell myself I was overreacting, that maybe she was just being responsible. But deep down, I knew better. The woman I was about to marry wasn't thinking about us. She was thinking about protection. So I did something she didn't expect. I booked a meeting with my lawyer, not to fight, but to understand. A week later, we met at our favorite cafe. This time, I was the one who brought up paperwork. "I think you're right," I said evenly. "It's smart to have a plan." So I decided to draft a prenup. Her fork froze midair. "You what?" I explained it was for both of us, that we clearly defined what belonged to whom and what would happen in any scenario. If she wanted practical, then practical was what she'd get. The silence that followed was sharp enough to cut through the air. She forced a smile, but I saw it, the flicker of panic behind her eyes. Suddenly, the woman who had started this conversation wanted to change the subject. "You don't really mean that, do you?" she asked quietly. "Oh, I do," I said, completely calm. Over the next few days, Claire pretended nothing had changed. She texted me about dinner plans, sent me memes, talked about honeymoon destinations. Anything but the prenup. But it hung there between us, an invisible wall we both felt but didn't touch. When I finally sent her the draft, her tone changed instantly. Gone was the logical, composed voice of practicality. She called me within minutes, her voice trembling. "Why are you doing this? Don't you trust me?" I almost laughed. The irony was suffocating. Trust, the very thing she'd broken herself. "I'm just being practical," I said slowly, echoing her own words. "It's not personal." There was silence, then a soft, fragile whisper. "Can we just forget about all that?" Forget. That was the word she clung to when accountability came knocking. But once you see someone measure your worth in numbers, you can't unsee it. You can't unhear the sound of someone protecting themselves from your success. A week later, the wedding invitations went out, with one change. I sent them back and signed them myself. The wedding was off. Sometimes love doesn't end in betrayal or lies. Sometimes it ends in quiet realization that the person beside you was never dreaming with you, only planning around you. And when that moment comes, the most practical thing you can do is walk away.